marks. So what happens is literally as time goes on, as this is in change for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or a week, and certainly 30 days, all of a sudden that grade degrades pretty quickly from Mint State 66. There are no Mint State 70s, there's no Mint State 69s, there's no Mint State 68s that I'm aware of. There's a couple of Mint State 67s out there. I've not seen one. I've heard that there was a couple of coins out there. I'm assuming they're gonna be $5,000 to $10,000, something like that, particularly if it's early find.
Oh, sure.
Mint State 66 is the highest affordable grade at $249.95. I had about 10 dozen coins. Oh. And the way to get these is, you know, we bought some in the marketplace, and because we have other use, we buy what are called ballistic bags.
Okay.
There's 200,000 quarters in a ballistic bag. And we search through and try to find the little West Point minted coins. And on a good day, we search through 50,000 coins. If we can get a couple dozen of them, we've done pretty well. And then we literally have dump truckloads of quarters. Now, try to get rid of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're allowed $10 a day at the bank. Okay, so I mean, they won't take any more change than that. You know, we've already opened up the bag, so I don't know what we're gonna do with $600,000 worth of quarters. But we'll figure that out later. And that's one of the reasons why we can get the high grade.
Right.
By the way, only 105 of these left.
Wow.
We started with 140 or 145, something like that. This will be a 100% sellout. Absolutely, positively guaranteed. As a matter of fact, this is going down. This is the highest available grade that I have seen out there. And we've gone through millions of quarters, literally, to get the coins that we have. I have no Mint State 67s, zero. Out of millions and millions and millions of quarters that we've gone through, I have gotten zero Mint State 67s. Like I said, I've heard there's a couple out in the marketplace, 5 or 10,000. I've not seen one. This is the highest available grade. So of the millions and millions and millions and millions of quarters we've gone through, I had 145 of them.
I'll tell you what, when you put it in perspective like that, $249.95 is incredible.
And by the way, you know how many West Point minted quarters the United States government has ever done? You're looking at it. So not only was it cool, but it's the first with the West Point Mint as well.
Little American treasure right there.
Yes.
Hey, $10 off when you apply and buy on our HSN card promotion. Of course, you can call that toll-free number or join us at hsn.com. Much more to come with Mike. Some few surprises up our sleeve, as we like to do. Here's some info on Shop by Remote.